The chilling hunt for Jewish passengers. Mob storms Russian airport. In a disturbing display of anti Semitism, a violent mob targeted Jewish passengers in Russia's predominantly Muslim region of Dagestan, causing chaos and fear in the Makhachkala airport. I don't know how to pronounce that. This alarming event took place against a backdrop of growing tensions following a deadly Hamas attack in southern Israel on October 7th, which was met with a forceful Israeli bombing campaign in Gaza. In the days leading up to the airport incident, inflammatory messages on Telegram urged locals to confront Jewish individuals erroneously believed to be refugees arriving from Israel. The situation escalated rapidly as videos circulated online showing throngs of young men, some waving Palestinian flags, breaching airport security to access planes on the tarmac. Amidst the turmoil, 20 people were injured, and a stark in flight announcement encapsulated the fear. Quote, "There's an angry mob outside that doesn't know where we have come from and why we are here. It is possible that we will also come under attack." The violence at the airport is part of a broader wave of anti Jewish sentiment in the region, with reports of mobs in multiple cities and acts of arson against Jewish properties. Israeli officials have urged Russia to ensure the safety of its citizens amidst a situation that has shocked and even saddened the global community. Um, so this was absolutely terrifying. Um, Maybe you could play that footage, but keep it muted in the background so people can, if people somehow didn't see this, um, they can see what this looked like. But it was literally a mob of hundreds of people storming an airport, going on a lynch mob to look for Jews. Because there was some rumor that was spread that this airplane, I don't even remember where it was actually coming from, but it wasn't coming from Israel. Someone spread a rumor that there are Israeli refugees coming from Israel to Russia. Now, why there would be people that were becoming refugees from Israel to Russia, that itself is highly questionable, how that could even be believed. But besides that being the point, this mob stormed the airport and was hunting for Jews to kill. And I saw videos of this guy who was Uzbek, and he was in this crowd surrounded by hundreds of men, and they were interrogating him to prove that he wasn't Jewish. And he was trying to explain to them that he was like ethnically Uzbek, and that he was like, "I've never been to Israel. What the hell are you guys talking about?" Blah 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 blah. And people, I don't. Armin, first of all, what was your reaction to this? And what do you think about the international reaction to this?
My first reaction was always, "This is why we need Israel. This is why Jews can never rely on any world power to be safe." I mean, throughout their history, they always had to wait for somebody to make sure that to care for them. I mean, first it was, the Jews were under the Babylonians, and then under the Persians, and then under the Greek and the Romans, and then also under the Persians again, and then under the Ottomans, the Ottoman Empire, and then the British, and then eventually the United States was protecting them. But the anti-Jewish hatred, I think people don't understand how deep rooted it is within, you know different cultures and belief systems all around the world. It's so foundational, and it's just there with us. I mean, and there are moments in history, it's always, sometimes you don't see it, but it's always there.
Beneath the
And sometimes
surface.
it just beneath the surface, it exists, and it just comes and shows itself in sometimes with the Holocaust, and sometimes with mass execution, sometimes with the most ugliest of ways, but it's always there under the surface, just waiting for an opportunity to come and lash out against Jewish people. There is no group of people in the world that face this level of foundational hate against them. It
None.
doesn't exist, right? And a lot of people say, like, why can't they just go to Europe? Why can't you just go to United States? I mean, people have to remember, before World War II, Germany was one of the most progressive countries in the world, even compared to other European countries. And
Oh my
just like
God, so
this,
sexually liberated in comparison to everywhere else. It was crazy.
yeah, and Jews felt very safe in Germany, very safe in Germany. Never would they imagine that. But just like this, it turned. And right now, for example, people think that the support of United States for Jewish people is just so strong that it's always going to be present there. But you can see even right now how things are changing so fast. One of the main reasons why United States supports Israel is because the Middle East is so important, and the Middle East is important because it has oil and natural gas. What if that changes? What if we have alternative energy and Middle East becomes very much less important, especially with United States now itself being such a major source of oil and gas itself, and the United States is very much self-reliant right now when it comes to energy. You can see United States constantly trying to push its move its focus to China and Russia, especially China. What if slowly United States is going to try to find ways to be less present in Middle East? So Israel, United States itself is a country where a lot of the Nazi viewpoints that went to Germany actually came from United States itself. So again, with all these years, thousands of years of history of saying that the support that you may have from the superpowers just might go away overnight. At some point, Jews realize that they need their own country. They need their own military, because you cannot just wait and see who's going to back you up and support you. You can never see that. Even here's an interesting thing.
They can
Even
never
when
make
the
that mistake again. They can never make the
yeah
mistake again. We learned that less than 100 years ago. We learned that. Less than 100
yeah
years ago, we learned that.
yeah yeah. I mean, even Susie, I don't know if you know this. Even when the British first supported the Zionist project, do you know what was their main motivation? One of their main motivations for doing that?
Well, presumably they didn't actually want Jews in their country themselves.
Yeah, it was not because they were caring for Jewish people. They just wanted to get rid of the Jews, for them to get out of the UK. And it's still there, guys. It's still there. And it's not just among Muslim communities. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's so crazy how widespread it is. Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
this is an example of that.
Yeah. When I heard that this happened, like, I was not surprised at all that this happened in Dagestan. Like, those Dagestanis, they take their Islam serious on a different level. Dead serious on a different level. So I was not surprised at all. When I heard that this happened, I was like, oh, I didn't even know yet. I was like, oh, I bet this happened in Dagestan or Chechnya. Let's read a few comments and reactions to this. Jirok is saying, my first reaction was my first reaction was I was seeing a potential pogrom that I had always read about. Exactly. We're lucky that no one actually was lynched during this. We're extremely lucky. Wikar Ahmed is saying, when I saw this news, I couldn't believe my eyes. Jews would have been so terrified. Some people on the BBC comment page said that they were looking for Zionists rather than Jews to spare their image. Here's the thing, 90% of the time, Zionists is just a dog whistle for Jews.
Yeah.
Because what do you mean they're looking for Zionists? How do you identify a Zionist?
Yeah.
How do you identify a Zionist consistently?
If
That's
you're
a
a Jew,
belief.
basically.
That's an ideology. Armin is a Zionist, but they're not looking for Armin, are they? No, they're not. So what? Yeah, it's such bullshit. Such bullshit. Shuvo is saying, growing up in Bangladesh, my Muslim friends blindly supported Germany in the FIFA World Cup because they, oh goodness, YouTube, they K'd all the J's. Mofos never met Jews, but the seed of hate was in their hearts from early on. Exactly.
I should show you. Should I show them that when Iranians went to the stadium in Germany?
Now is not the time. Now is not the time because that.
No, don't. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on because people don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, and it's gonna make me laugh because it's. And now is a really bad time for that. It's not a good time. Okay. Eventually, we should talk about that, but not right now. Okay. GJ is saying, I completely agree with Susanna. Jews need a place. Yeah. It's like pretty much the exception to the rule. Gasian American is saying, thoughts on the proposed Ben Gurion Canal. Well, thank you for the super chat. I'm not exactly... Oh, okay, you pulled this up? For some reason, I got that confused with Ben Gavir for a second. I was like, no, fuck that guy.
Yeah, me too. Wait, don't swear. We're going to get demonetized.
We're already going to get demonetized, okay? Do you know what we're talking about this week? Guys, like the stream. It's already too far gone.
Yeah, I don't know much about this project to be able to talk about it, so I haven't studied it.
Is it proposed? Wait, no, go back up. I want to read that. Proposed canal project through the state of Israel. It would connect the Gulf of Aqaba to the Mediterranean Sea.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, and wait, it would just go past the very top of Gaza.
That's pretty cool actually, because now this is going to connect Europe all the way down here to, this is going to go all the way to China and everywhere. Is this part of the economic? Is this part of? Yeah, this is probably will go very much in line with the economic corridor that goes around Iran and basically ignores Iran.
Well, exactly. I was about to say you could bypass the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah. This will connect China and India to Europe, and by bypassing Iran. Yeah. But anyways,
if we can bypass the Strait of Hormuz, that would change everything.
Well, I mean, you can't bypass the Strait of Hormuz when it comes to oil and gas, but you could bypass the trade route of India and China to Europe. You could bypass Iran using this economic corridor. I don't know if this is part of that economic corridor, but if it is, then yeah, I would support that. Unfortunately for, yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Unicorn gave us a super chat saying, regardless of any small nuanced disagreements, I still support you guys, your cause, and your channel fully. Heart, Suze, and Armin, you guys are lights in a dark world. Aw, thank you, Unicorn. Thank you. That genuinely means a lot to me, because this situation, this topic, makes me miserable. And we might have disagreements with people on this channel, blah, blah, blah. But if people have been following us for a while, like, I genuinely do take deep consideration into my beliefs and my opinions and the things that I say. And so I'm very willing to change a lot of my opinions. And I don't have any qualms in saying that. And like Armin and I, even before the show, like I've been having conversations with Armin.
Yes, sure.
Constantly, like challenging ourselves. Yes. Constantly. And so I don't want people to think that this isn't something that I take lightly. Yeah, go ahead, Armin.
Can I say what you said to me, that you were trying to question our position?
Sure.
So guys, right before, yeah, so like Susie is being very honest about this. I'm very transparent about this. Like even before we went live today, she was, how do we know for sure How can we know if this is the right position? Are she keeps challenging. Like me and Susie have a lot of agreements about the whole situation right now, but it's amazing. I try to question myself, but Susie has doubled that recently because she's so worried about us having positions that are harmful, and she's constantly questioning us, and she constantly is making me, even I have very strong beliefs, and I feel like I do question myself enough, but now she's making me wonder that maybe I'm not, because she's like, how do you know that? How do you know that? But what about this? But what about people who say this to this? And I'm like, well, that's wrong because of this. Like, well, how do you know that? So she is very worried and very concerned
And
about,
also, is it worth it?
is it worth it? Yeah. But Susie is genuinely trying to make sure, as to push for beliefs and views and advocate for things that are actually helpful. And even if we can't make sure for 100%, she's trying her best to do so. I can see the skepticism that she's having, and she finds it very challenging. But even if you disagree with us, just know this. I am being very honest here. We genuinely want to. We're doing the best we can to push for things that we think helps the most number of people, regardless of whether atheist, whether they're Muslim, whether they're Arab, whether they're Kurdish, whether they're Jews, either religiously or ethnically or whatever. If we are getting things wrong, it's not because we don't care for people. We're genuinely trying our best to push for things that we think helps the highest number of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's exactly why I'm willing to change my position very freely.
Yeah.
Gasian American gave us another super chat. Thank you, Gasian, saying, trigger warning anti-Semitism. My mom wanted me to marry into J banking families. I do not share her views.
Okay.
M gave us a super chat saying, thank you, M.
Don't select M. Look at his profile picture.
I just realized that the profile picture is like a little booty. I think it's like a Greek statue booty.
Yeah, just read M's comment
Okay.
and then highlight
The
it.
amount of anti-Semitism in New York City is nuts. True. I don't see people ripping off posters calling for a ceasefire, but constantly removing posters of hostages. Exactly.
Yeah. M, can you change your profile picture so we don't get demonetized by highlighting your comments? Thank you.
Yeah, you're playing fast and loose with our monetization, bro.
Yes.
And then Shia decided to celebrate her membership. Well, thank you for being a member, Shia, but you decided to do it with single-handedly the most cringe comment I have seen today, which is a stark competition, saying, like Jews, I think Brahmins also need their own state.
What the hell are you talking about?
This is embarrassing.
Like, are Brahmins oppressed? Oh my god. This is Brahmin supremacy. Brahmins have it. Why would you? They're the least people, one of the least people in the world that deserve to have their own state. What are you talking about? I think she's just trolling. Is she trolling? That must be a
I
troll.
don't think so, because I've had literally people email me about Shia exposing her for shit. So I don't think she's joking.
This is like Christians feeling like they're oppressed in the United States. This is that kind of delusion.
This is so cringe.
This is fascistic, by the way. This is like Brahmins are like, again, not all Brahmins, okay, but things in India are in favor of Brahmins. They are considered to be, on average, at least. I don't want to generalize, right? On average, Brahmins, everything is biased in their favor. If you wanted to argue for any form of I don't want to give any I don't want to divide India or anything. For what are you? Is she advocating for dividing up India? Like, what are you talking about? I mean, the oppressed people in India are the Dalits and the Shudras, the outcasts and the lower caste. The
We don't
Brahmins
need to
are.
explain this. We don't need to explain this.
This is
This is
insane.
just cringe behavior, and it's like, oh, some people say some mean things about Brahmins every now and then. Like,
Yeah, Shiha, this
some
is
people say some mean
bigot.
things
You're
about
a
white
bigot. You're a
people every
fascist.
now and then. But I'm not like, white people need their own state. They need their own country because some people say some mean things about white people. Grow a skin. Are you freaking baby?
Yeah,
Walk on
my
like
God.
eggshells. The
If
fragility is crazy.
Yeah, this is like Brahmin supremacist. Shiha is a Brahmin supremacist. This is horrible. This is a horrible take. Yeah. Oh, here we got another super chat. You want to read
Yeah,
this?
animation is saying Shikha seems to be an imposter Hindu ID. No one wishes for this. I also think highly suspect that Shikha is not really an atheist. Um, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, actually, guys, not all Brahmins are this crazy. Don't let. I know many Brahmins who don't care about being Brahmin, who think this is all nonsense. The caste system is insane. They're not proud of being Brahmin. Okay, so not all Brahmins are as crazy as Shikha. Just wanted to let you know that. But thank you for admission. All
Yeah,
right, we should move on to the next news.
yeah, this is just freaking cringe. Anyways, let's move on.
Oh, wait, we got another super chat. There.
Oh, thank you, 420 Stoner, LS 420 Stoner. Saying, I don't know what's more terrifying, World War III breaking out in the sandbox, oh Jesus, or having to fight off a Red Dawn invasion of the US after a PLA Unit 61398 cyber attack.
Okay,
Okay,
this is not gonna happen.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
go on.
not going to happen. I mean, I get that the world is scary right now, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not World War III level stuff at all. Not even close. Not even close. Okay, so anybody who says like, "Oh my God, we're close to World War III," no, we're not. I mean, this is why we're not capitalism. Okay, capitalism. Capitalism is saving the world from
Fucking
World War
chill.
III. So, the economies of the world powers are too interconnected with each other. They're too intertwined for us to be able to have World War III. So thank you, capitalism. All right. So next
Also,
news. Can
yeah,
we clap for the next news?
the
Yeah.
regional neighbors don't really want to get directly involved with this BS. They don't.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I
They
mean, did
don't.
you not see what Nasrallah came? People were like, "Oh my God, Nasrallah, Hezbollah is going to come into the fight, and now it's going to get regional." Like, "Oh my God, it's going to be first Hezbollah is going to get into fight, and then Iran is going to get into fight, and it's going to be World War III." Nasrallah was like, "Oh yeah, we hate Israel." By the way, this was not us. We didn't do this. So this was just Hamas. We had nothing to do with this. But yeah, Israel, like we're not afraid of you. But please don't come for us. We're not going to get involved with this. And we had nothing to do with the October 7th attack. Please, please, please don't attack us. We don't want to get involved with this. But yeah, Israel will be destroyed. Like, obviously. Okay. Okay. So they don't want to, it's not going, yeah, it's not going to get into that. Oh my God, we got another super chat.
Kashitz is saying, what are your thoughts on LGBTQ community support for Palestine? It is
Oh,
leftist dogma bullshit. It's a symptom of an entire paradigm. It's a symptom of an entire paradigm. People need to understand that, and it's cringe and embarrassing. When I talk to my friends that are from Islamic communities and grew up in Islamic societies, and I talk to them about this, they're like, this is so fucking embarrassing. Like, do people, I mean, I don't know about you, but I saw a footage that happened just 2 weeks ago of someone trying to raise an LGBTQ flag at a Palestinian rally in London and getting fucking assaulted and their ass freaking beaten to a pulp in London. So just imagine what happens. Freaking embarrassing.
we
They
should,
openly say, we don't want your support. LGBTQ people
okay.
that support Palestine need to realize that these Islamists think that they are freaks that need to be basically exterminated. They need to understand this, and they don't.
Speaking of, my article on this topic was published in Look.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Guys, Armin wrote an article called Queer for Palestine, Identity for Politics at its most
Look at where it
absurd.
was
And
published.
it was first published in Queer Majority, and now it has been published in Quillette.
Guys, do you guys know what this means? Quillette is one of the major publications when it comes to base takes. Okay, so and I'm now there. This is my first time being published, and and in Quillette, I was always wanted to publish an article in Quillette, so I'm very happy about that. So if you wanted to, the comment that Susie just highlighted, if you want to read more about that, because this article is about that. Okay, so Queers for Palestine, Identity Politics at its most absurd. I will post a link to the article, so please go read it and share it around, because I'm very, very proud of this, getting this out there. Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.